Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction for Kubera chapters 52, 53, and 54 is what I'm hoping for. If they're really short, we can do more. If they're really long, maybe we can't do all three, but I doubt it. So yeah, either way, loving Kubera, always loving Kubera. We are kind of entering the Wavering King. I did the first chapter of it last time, so I'm excited to get into that. I'm assuming, yeah, Wavering King probably has to do with the stuff that's going on with the Shuras that we've been getting lately. But we're going to do part 2, 3, and 4 of that. So, yeah, I guess there's not too much to say before getting into reading. Most of the real good discussion stuff is stuff you gotta do while reading. Also, sorry if my voice is like really stuffy and nasally. I am like all stuffed up. I don't know what the deal is. I ain't feeling too great. But either way, let's just get into reading. Let's just start reading. With chapter 52 or episode 52. We see the guy from last time who repelled that one Shura. There's no way for a Shura to cross the line into the closed space. I must have drifted out of the closed space. Is the Coast Guard just for show or something? They should have stopped me. All they do is take my tax money. And then we have a bunch more Gentharva Shura showing up. Alright, Chapter 52, The Wavering King 2. Listen carefully. Calculation speed is important, but so is accuracy. You rely too much on intuition without understanding the theoretical aspect when using magic. That's why you keep missing the target and failing. So that means you're just a loser that's weaker than me. Didn't I tell you to watch your language? And we have book toss. I'm not terrible at calculations like you. Always talking about accuracy. What's the point of being accurate when there's no time to waste? My methods work better in a real situation. Hoti Varana. And then we have the splash. Heh, you see, there's no problems using it without calculations. Topology, trajectory planning, screw them. All those theory crap are made up by useless magicians just to think they're better than everyone else. Tut tut, that's why you never improve. Look at Asha, for example. Not that again. I don't know how strong Asha is, but how strong. You're nothing compared to Asha. Asha graduated from Elith University at only the age of 16, and is the fastest and most concise magician ever. Graduating at 16, that's a monster, not a human. Anyway, no matter how fast Asha is, I bet he can't use a Bhavati spell faster than me. So again, unless it's a translation mistake, I think it's probably another person assuming Asha's a guy. Because I don't calculate. Bhavati Varuna. Very Lee's energy with the I can't math. And then they start freezing up. We have this huge sea of ice stretching before him. Who needs to calculate? Laughing maniacally. And then, my arm. It's okay. I froze them all, so if I run back to the city, I don't have any legs to run. I love his face in this comedy battle. The leg is also frozen. Damn it, already? The ice is starting to crack. Fighting like this is dangerous. For now, I've got to use the water to retreat. I have no water to use. It's all frozen. A prime example of why the range of a spell should not be used so widely without a reason. And then the Shura break out. And we cut over to, oh man, I forget their name. The new traveling Spotty, the new traveling companion of Lee's and Asha. Why am I for Yuta? What's wrong, Yuta? Was there something in the ocean? I can hear someone fighting. Really? I don't hear anything. Seems halves have good ears. They say that the Shuras from the Gentharva tribe have been acting aggressively. They're probably taking out the Shuras beyond the closed space as a precaution, so there's nothing to worry about. You see, it's nothing, Yuta. Let's get out of here. I'm bleeding. Damn it. I'll pay you back 100 times over. Hey, you hit me while I was talking. You're dead. Hoti Kubera. And then we have Misty Shore Checkpoint. Okay, next. We're next. Alright, Asha, I've been thinking. Why do we have to go through the checkpoint? Can't we just teleport into the city? No. You can move out of a closed space as you want, but you must go through the checkpoint to get into the closed space. Ah, I see. Then what about him? And she thinks about little Kubera. How did he get it, or how did he get us in? How'd he do that? Get out of my way. And then we see the guy made it back, but injured. He's badly hurt. He needs to get treated. And he rushes past them. I'm first. Get out of the way. Even if you're in a rush to get treated, isn't it a common courtesy to ask before rushing to the front? And I can treat you if you want. Whatever about manners. Are you saying you're not going to get out of my way? Are you going to be responsible if I get permanent scars? Ha ha. No longer wants to treat him, Asha. You're done checking, right? Give it already. I go in and out every day. Just skim over it and let me go. Okay, done. Huh? What? Why is a perfectly normal-looking guy wearing a skirt? And then, we got some weird people in this world. Damn. What in the... And then, Asha, don't listen to him. He's the one who's really weird. You're really feminine, Asha. Haha. And then I actually love that Lise is trying to be supportive, but at the same time, like, just can't keep her compliment straight. Ron Cyrofe, human, quarter. And then, born on D80, 8th month, 20th day. Birthday attributes the triple Varna. Magic rank BB, issued by the Misty Shore Magic Union. I saw it on the monitor when they were checking his magic license. I'll find him in no time with this information. Just evil Asha. I think I'll find him and have a nice little chat with him. To be continued. This was like one of the funniest comedy chapters so far, I think. Like, it was really, really good. Especially the early parts with him and the ice fighting the Shura. That was really, really, really good. And then, like, the him fighting the Shura, but then also the one joke was really good where you could just hear him screaming, I'm bleeding and everything in the background as Lise is like, oh yeah, Asha's right, it's probably totally fine. Like, that was really good too. Like, the comedy was very, very good this chapter. The comedy generally is just very good in Kubera. I think that's a really good thing too. I've mentioned this before. I'm not sure if it was in a Kubera video. I think it was in a video for something else where I think the best way that series handle themselves are when, like, they focus on the action or the comedy, whatever the draw is. They focus on the action or the comedy, and they let the character stuff build from that. They let the story build from that. Because too often I see series where it starts like that. And then after a while they say, oh wow, people are really into the story and characters. And they forget about doing any comedy, they forget about doing any action, and it just becomes, wow, we're going to overdevelop our characters. And what I mean by overdeveloping is, like, they get to a point where it's like a part of the fun of it is, like, even reading this right now, a part of the fun is we don't know every single little detail about Kubera or Asha or Yuta. We don't know everything that they're thinking. We don't know their entire past. So it lets us fill in the blanks ourselves and kind of create the ideal version of them that we like most and let us see them in the best way. But then sometimes series will say, oh, you like the characters? Let's give you every single little detail about them. And then you reach a point eventually where it's like, the characters are so set in stone that if there's something you don't like about them, it's like, oh wow, that might ruin the whole character for you. And you focus so much on that you lose sight of what got people interested in the characters to begin with, which is how the characters interact with each other, whether that be, again, in a comedy sense or an action sense. So yeah, that's something that I really, really like about Kubera, is just that every chapter I read is very fun. The focus is on the fun of the journey, and then all the character stuff happens as a part of that. All of the story and world building happens as a part of that. Yeah, either way, we still got 2 more to read, so I'm going to stop talking for now and go ahead and start reading episode 53. Alright, starting 53. We have Vishnu and Shuri are no longer of this world, and Garuda may never be awakened. You're alone now, Gandharva. And I think Vishnu, at least Vishnu, has been mentioned in the series so far. Sometimes it's hard to be like, oh yeah, were they mentioned in the story so far? Or am I just thinking, because most of these are like figures. I don't know if they're all exactly gods or not, because I thought Garuda was more of a creature than a god in like Hindu folklore. But I'm like, do I know Vishnu because of Hindu folklore, or has it been has the name already been mentioned in the series? But I do believe Vishnu's already been mentioned. I can't help you forever. Make your decision now. Like, I'm doing my best, and I've had comments that have been really, really kind, really awesome, saying that I'm doing a really good job keeping track of like all the different characters and crazy stuff that's going on. But at the same time, I do feel like I really need to reread a lot. I really need to go back and do reviews and stuff. I think that'll really help me get stuff down so I don't miss as much. But yeah, either way, I can't help you forever. Make your decision now. A wise decision, like a king. We should have realized sooner that a god would never create an ocean for Shuras. It was our fault to trust a god too much. I'll try my hardest to hold them off until you can make a decision, but we cannot withstand everything here until the end. It would be wisest to take the stronger ones with us and go to the Garuda stronghold, but the problem is Shakuntala. If you're gonna take only the strongest Shuras, leave me behind. Someone as weak as me shouldn't be saved because I'm the daughter of a king, and I cannot leave those kids behind. Shakuntala, if you're going to be stubborn, Gandharva will try to create an ocean here. You know how fatal that'll be for Gandharva's health, right? Think realistically. What's more important to you, Gandharva or the other Shuras? Of course my dad's the most important, but I can't go. I'm sorry. I'm not asking my dad to make an ocean. All I want's to stay with the other children until the end. That'll be enough for me. That'll be enough for you, Shakuntala? That isn't enough for your dad. Even if the rest of our tribe survives, if you're not by my side, I can't live on. And we actually see Gandharva out in the ocean with all the other Gandharva Shuras down there. Interesting. And then, Chapter 53, The Wavering King, 3. Gandharva. They're strengthening Rintalu's defenses by the day. The longer we wait, we'll be at a disadvantage. If you're nearby, please answer me. And from the box color, we can assume that it's Madana. He isn't here either. Because I couldn't see him from the sky, I thought he'd be in the forest or in the water. I think I've checked most of the forests, and I don't want to go into the water. You hear something? How dare you, you featherless little... And then we see a creature. Huh? Why would a Gandharva tribe... Damn it, I didn't want this to happen. And it's lunging at him. And we see this ripping and cracking open. And then its feet trembling. Hey, I don't like the smell of your tribe, and would definitely not like to touch you. I want to use a transcendental skill to destroy you, but I can't do that because Gandharva might be watching. If you attack me like that, I'll be in a very awkward position. Her tears up. I know, of course it was an accident. I can forgive you, so don't cry. And then, there's no need to thank me, just go. I can't breathe. I just constantly insulting it for smelling like a fish. And then, try to stay underwater. There are a lot of Shuras from the Ananta clan in the area. And then, if it were normal, it wouldn't have failed to recognize me. I knew the king's anger would affect them, but it's even worse than I thought. They've totally lost their minds. For sure. Except the strength. For sure, except the strength. Gandharva's qualities is not good of a king. Wow, that is a sentence. It uses English words, but hold on. I need to try to decipher this. I guess except for his strength, his quality to be a king isn't very good. So I get what they mean. That was just really doing me in. How could he not control his emotions like this? Come on, you're making it seem like my tribe's the only bad one. Well, I don't really like fish, so I don't eat them unless I'm starving. And with that aside, and we have Sagara there, unless I'm getting her name wrong, sorry if I am, the Gandharva tribe must be exhausted to use a king like Gandharva, am I right? Emotional resonance, or low-level Shuras and half emotions are aligned to their king. How bothersome is that? When the king's happy, they get excited. When the king's sad, they also get gloomy. And when the king's angry, they get mad and start attacking all over the place. What would happen to them if they were to run into a red bird with a bad temper? Sagara, get to the point. Before that, let me ask you something. By the look on your face at that time, I think you figured out pretty much about what was going on. Marna, do you know why he gave Gandharva the false hope? That's because Gandharva tribe Shuras aren't very aggressive. He wanted to make Gandharva angry, in order to make Gandharva tribe Shuras into a state of aggression, so that we would be at an advantage when attacking Rintalo. So you only thought of that much, huh? You're half right and half wrong. Being a bit angry could help, but if they get in a stage where they could attack you, they'll only get in our way. Then the Gandharva tribe wouldn't be able to join the battle, and it would be impossible for us to attack Rintalo. There's no way he wouldn't have thought this far ahead. So, from the very beginning, he never had any intention of granting Gandharva's wish of not attacking Atera. So, what do you think is the best idea, Marna? When even he wants to attack Atera? Are you just going to sit around here quietly and wait for Gandharva, or do you want to go to Atera? And then, to be continued. We get left off there, we get cliffhanger there. This is interesting. It kind of feels like we're going back and forth with Shura development versus the journey. It's like we'll have one chapter with Lisa's journey, and then we'll have one with the development of the Shura, and we'll just go back and forth with that. That's how it's felt for the past few. But yeah, it was very, very, very good. Sagara is an interesting character. Again, I don't think we've gone far enough in to really fully get enough of Sagara's motives in this current arc, this current situation, for me to say too much. I really, really like Marna, what the series has done with them, and I love Gandharva. I just feel like this chapter doesn't really leave me on a place where I can discuss it much, because we just kind of got cliffhung a little bit. We haven't really resolved a lot of their emotions or a lot of the conversation to be going on here. But yeah, either way, I'm just gonna go ahead and read. We have one more. I'm gonna read 54 before I continue talking. Alright, let's finish things off with chapter 54. Gandharva, half for sale. 600 gold coins, no haggling. You know, the Gandharva tribe's become hard to catch because they've become aggressive nowadays. Only 600 gold coins. This is pretty much a steal. And then we see the Temple of Water, Misty Shore stuff, just, normal things. And then we have Shura half buy-in something. Honey, do you want to have to celebrate our engagement? Huh? Why a half all of a sudden? You said that Gandharva halves are your enemies, that you wanted to kill one with your own hands. You still remember that? You're the best, honey. And this is crazy, because these are half humans. Like, geez, anything for you. But 600 coins is a bit expensive, or 600 gold coins is a bit expensive. And then we see the sign in higher detail. You want to kill it yourself? That's a bit dangerous. As you can see, this one's pretty aggressive right now. Taking it far out won't be easy either. You should try to kill it somewhere close. But isn't it okay since it has the collar on? It already broke 3 collars, when it's usually hard for halves to break them. Then let's just kill it here rather than going out far. Okay then, but since there are a lot of people watching, let's go to the nearest forest. This isn't something children should be seeing, and things will get messy if halves rights protesters show up. And then it's interesting because we still don't know what Asha thinks about this. We've seen Asha being colder on the cruelty of slavery and murders of halves. We've seen Asha being colder on that than Lise, who very much doesn't. See, it's interesting. Lise doesn't like it, but Lise also hates Shuras. But then Asha's been colder towards it, but Asha's more open to welcoming Shuras. So it's interesting. Hey, this is entertaining. I'm gonna watch too. Me too, me too. And then chapter 54, The Wavering King, 4. We have Lise yawning. I'm so bored. Asha always goes off by herself. Why would she say that I'll get in her way? 1 hour ago. You'll just get in my way, so stay here. Fine, then at least tell me why you're going to the university. Do you remember that guy we met at the checkpoint with a BB rank magician license? Yeah. BB rank means that you have everything to obtain a license. I guess maybe they're meaning an A rank license, but you haven't graduated from college. Or maybe just obtain a license in general, but you haven't graduated. And most BB ranks are 4th years who haven't graduated yet because they haven't passed their topology course. The man was dressed in everyday clothes, and he said he always passed through the checkpoint. That can only mean he lives in Misty Shore. Therefore, there's a high chance that he's a college student. In addition to that, he was a triple water element. Everything fits perfectly, from his attributes to his status. He'll be perfect to torture. And then, torture? I heard wrong, right? Anyway, so that's why Asha went to visit Misty Shore University, and I ended up staying at the Magic Union Hotel with Yuta. Is she mad because I called her a guy? No, I'm sure she hears that quite often. Maybe she's mad because she was called a pervert. But calling her a pervert wouldn't be enough to make her find him personally. Is there another reason? Screw it. Let's eat lunch. Yuta, what do you want to pick? Or what do you want? Pick. And then, Yuta? Excuse me. It's dangerous to be up there. Please come down. Can you not hear me? Please come down. He's sitting on the side of a building. Always keep your mind calm and still. It may rock back from time to time, but never allow it to waver. When you laugh, never let it be true laughter. When you cry, never let it be true tears. That is the right way of being a king. Therefore, that's the path you must take. And then, I'm assuming the VE is the end of save, probably. He hears the calling out, save me, from the half. And then reacts. And then we have, it looks like Sa, and it looked like they were going to start the save me part. I love Misty Shore's warm wind, and it's sent to the ocean. What's so good about money that I lived in the city of Steel for decades, and we see Eloth of Steel. So I guess the Temple of Steel is there. We've already heard about the Temple of Chaos. We have the Temple of Water here in Misty Shore, Fire and Atera. Even if I get paid a little less, living in a place where one feels comfortable is best. Don't you agree, Mr. Cossack? Agwen, there's a student I'm supposed to teach who's known to use magic without calculations. I really want to see him. Maybe we should go straight to the university. Agwen, before that, can we at least leave our luggage at the house first? I like her design and the little, fluffy staff broom thing she has going on. What? You're only carrying that much and you're saying it's heavy? Hey, what happened to the 2-time reigning champion of the fighter tournament? No, it isn't heavy. It's just that if people see us. Who cares if people see us? You don't like looking like a bag boy, huh? Well, you are a bag boy. No, I don't care that I'm a bag boy. It's just that people might think you're a bad person if they see me carrying all these bags. Do you think I'll carry one of the bags if you say that? Those kinds of tricks won't work on me, Mr. Cossack. And then, what was that sound? I'm talking here. Where are you looking off to? I'm not looking off anywhere. Listen carefully, Agwen. I hear someone screaming in the woods over there. What is this? Help me. And then, it must be Ashura. Let's roll. Stay 3 steps behind me. And it's interesting if it's because they said they were going to kill the half in the forest, if it's kind of the opposite of what they were expecting, a person being attacked by Ashura. Why would Ashura appear in the closed space? And if you want me to follow you while carrying all these bags, I can't move around like this in the woods. I'm excited for these two. I kind of like them already. Oh yeah, we're inside the closed space. It can't be Ashura then. So, no need to worry. Must be a robbery. And then they look shocked. We see blood on the blade. Oh! And it's just a ton of blood around Yuta. So, bad news getting caught doing this. Hey, don't tell me you did all this, did you? And they missed out on the context. Who was it? Did you see who it was? And they can see the human transformation slipping. To be continued. That's really, really good. That's another really good chapter. So what I really like about this one, gosh, I like the introduction of Agwen and Cossack. I can't believe I remember their names, but it has only been a couple, like 30 seconds. I actually really like them. I'm excited to see what they could do to play into the story. I forget the new guy's name. I think it was like Ron or something like that. Rion, something like that. I think it was Ron. I like him. I really, really like him. We barely got to see any this time around, other than the beginning of the first chapter we read, though. But yeah, I'm excited to see more of him. Like, there's so much being set up here. Misty Shore being this really beautiful place, but also this really fucked up place, is really cool as a setting. So I kind of hope we stay here for a little bit, kind of like we did at Atera. We were in Atera for a good little bit. Stay here for a little bit, tell a story here. I'm excited for it. And I love that, I don't know if I love it or not, that we have this conflict now starting where we know as an audience that Yuta's a good guy, presuming that he didn't just kill everybody and he was able to make it in time and maybe set the half free or something, or maybe the half was already dead and he slaughtered them in revenge. We don't have context yet, but we might flash back to that next chapter for all I know, so I'll withhold judgment there. But we have Agwen showing up and seeing, the transformation slipping because power is being used, seeing Yuta surrounded by all this blood, and it looks really, really bad, and Agwen doesn't have context for it. Showing up without context, so it could lead to this really annoying misunderstanding, or it could be a really cool conflict. I will say the only thing is, even with context, because of the way that people treat Shuras and halves, we don't know exactly where Agwen lies on that. So Agwen could just not care regardless of context, could be upset regardless of context, for all we know. And like I said, I think the dichotomy between Lise and Asha is really, really interesting, where Asha hasn't, Asha was telling Lise, hey, you're going to be seeing, basically slave auctions and stuff, but just ignore it. Where Lise is just, where Asha's just like, hey, this is just part of the world. This is the way it is. But at the same time, Asha's more willing to work with and accept Shuras. At least human Shuras, and presumably, halves and stuff count as well. Whereas Lise is okay with halves and quarters and stuff, but considers the idea of even a humanoid Shura being friends with them just blasphemy, essentially, but does seem more morally against this stuff. So it's really interesting to see Lise more openly against this, despite actually hating actual Shuras, where Asha has been the opposite, where Asha has been more cool on it, more like, this is just the way things are, but is more accepting of Shuras. So I think that dichotomy is really interesting there. But either way, that's where I'm going to end it for just this time around. Hope you did enjoy. Sorry if it felt a little short. I don't know. It feels like we blew through those three, but they were really good. Just in general, I'm loving the Kubera journey. Either way, though, thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, comment on there too. Tell me what you thought of these three chapters, my first thoughts and reaction. Subscribe for more. Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. We can talk on Discord if you want. We can talk on Twitter if you want. We can talk here in the comments for sure. If you want to help support the channel, a super thanks, it'd be really, really cool. But if not, if you want One Piece a bit early, if you want a shout out at the end of every single video, then become a patron or channel member. You can hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you so much to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, to Magical Girls, FR Nono, Huarian, and Smeller Dog, to Cherryton Student David Langstaff, to Slayer Candidate SG, and to Pure Element Pate Ardialo. Thank you all so much. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.